Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the WordSmith, your sanctuary where words and music entwine in the most marvelous of dances. Today, we stand at the threshold of something I've heard to be truly sublime. It is a piece entitled Amanat, performed by the incomparable Dimash Qudaibergen. Dimash is an artist whose voice seems to leap beyond the confines of possibility. It actually transforms melody into sheer magic. Together we shall not merely hear, we shall explore. We'll wander the gilded corridors of his phrasing, the resonant cathedrals of his tone, and those dizzying pinnacles of range. And before we embark, a gentle note. If you find joy in these deep dives, you might wish to join our growing circles of patrons over on Patreon, or offer a token of appreciation through Buy Me a Coffee. The links rest invitingly in the description below. A massive thank you to all of those donors who have contributed to the channel thus far. So, enough out of me. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Okay, here we go. Dimash Creative Center. That's a beautiful piano intro. What key is that in? Oh. Okay, before he starts the music, there's some things I can say about that. Okay, so the music so far, we're only 23 seconds in. I know I paused early, but natural format of a reaction and analysis video. So it gently unfolds in the key of A minor. It's a tonal center that has, for centuries, been synonymous with introspection, plaintive beauty. Tends to be a very melancholy type of vibe, but on this occasion we'll see where we head. And there is something ineffably human in its melancholy hues, as though each note is a quiet confession, and that's based on experience of knowing the key. And it's uttered not just for the world, but for the heart that carries it. So already we can see where he's going. The tempo so far, it's unhurried and contemplative, seems to grant us permission to breathe within the music. And one might trace a finger along the edge of a treasured keepsake in terms of audible clarity. And there's a moderate pace to it. There's no real urgency. It just possesses quiet dignity, inviting us into an atmosphere saturated with feeling. So really, already, that's a very, very good start. And to be honest, we haven't really started yet. I did do a bit of research about this song, and commenters did provide me with some. And Amanat, it seems, reveals itself to be more than a melody. It's more of a love letter, a vow of fealty to the land that gave one life. It speaks of devotion, not as mere sentimentality, but as something fierce, noble, and unyielding. A reverence for heritage and homeland. So it's very much in key with what Dimash is all about. He's a very patriotic man. And based off what I've read, every cadence, the song whispers of belonging, of roots that run deep beneath the soil of memory. So, really interesting info, and thank you to the commenters for providing me with that. All right, so let's take that back a little bit and keep going. Loving the instrumentation thus far. Oh, breathy. Closed captions is on. Very good. Oh. His tone is crazy. Yeah. When you're a Dimash fan and Dimash just Dimashes immediately, it's the best thing. What's interesting for me as he starts the song is that he's seated, he's cross-legged, and it's a posture that in itself demands poise and a lot of core engagement. And from this grounded position, he releases a sound that is as delicate as mist. It's a breathy, aspirate tone that floats like gossamer in the air. To achieve such control whilst maintaining intonation is no small feat, especially at that position. And it calls for a mastery of breath management, so refined that the very edge of audibility becomes the canvas. The diaphragm here must whisper its power without betraying the slightest strain. The larynx has to be at ease and the tone sustained with the softest caress of air. And he does this masterfully. It is, in essence, the art of fragility made audible. And I'm loving the stage setup as well. The stage upon which this quiet sorcery unfolds is bathed in hues of green and gold amber, a palette that seems to echo the duality of earth and light, this sort of verdant life tempered by the warmth of memory. Looking at the lyrics, you can see he's singing from a point of passion, and the colors do not merely illuminate, they conspire with the music to create an ambiance both tender and profound, framing the performance like a living painting whose strokes are made not of pigment, but of sound and light. So very, very good from Dimash thus far already. All right, taking it back and let it run. Okay, let's keep this going. Beautiful. So pretty. Really, really stunning. Oh, oh. Oh, I absolutely love what he did with his vocal. So in this section of his vocal, there is singing that is so exquisite, so emotive that it seems to bypass intellectuality entirely, and in striking instead at the very marrow of feeling. Each phrase is not merely sung, but it's lived. Every note is a pulse of vulnerability, every breath a confession dressed in melody. He possesses this kind of artistry that reminds me why music exists, to articulate the inarticulable. And what I loved about his vocal in that section, like a silk ribbon loosening its knot, comes that glorious gesture, a portamento, as we call it in music. It's the elegant glide from one pitch to another, executed with such poise, it feels like the vocal equivalent of a sigh. It is simply refinement in motion, a liquid descent that carries emotion from its peak into repose, leaving behind a resonance that sort of lingers like a perfume in the air. Just so brilliant from Dimash, really. Okay, so let's keep this going. Oh, opening up a bit more. Great question. Oh man, that's so good. It's kind of mad that he's singing that delicately in that posture. So I want to talk about the lyrics. I obviously have closed captions enabled, as you can see. And there's something about these lines that strike with a solemn and almost interrogative weight, as though the song itself is holding a mirror to the soul. I mean, there was a line there that I saw, your eternal duty to the motherland, whether did you manage to fulfill it? Good question. Really, really good questions. It is not mere rhetoric. It is an echo of conscience reverberating through the corridors of loyalty, sacrifice, and identity. So there's a lot of power behind what he is saying, and coming from someone as patriotic as he is for his home country of Kazakhstan, you'd understand. And where he mentions eternal duty, that would suggest to me that there's something that transcends time, a covenant rather than a contract, binding one's life to the very soil that nurtured that life. It asks some interesting questions. It asks whether the sum of our deeds measure up to the vast inheritance of heritage. So for him, I believe, a question at once noble and yet unsettling. There's no stridency here, no martial bravado. Instead, it feels tender, almost mournful, as though acknowledging the fragile, imperfect nature of human devotion. And look, we've all been there. And what's interesting is that he's repeating that line. The words become both a charge and also a lament, a reminder that love of homeland is not a feeling to be passively possessed, but an obligation, lived and proven. At least that's what I get from it. If it's not that, then I'm just an idiot, don't mind me. The song is quite deep, but let's keep it going. Okay. He did open up the tap slightly there. Wow. Mm-hmm. His breath control. Ooh. Beautiful control. He's just when one imagines the breathiness has reached its utmost delicacy, he dares to pare it back even further, until the tone seems to hover on the very brink of silence. He is so good at aspirate singing, it's ridiculous. And this is not mere softness, it is vulnerability distilled into sound. Now, for me as the listener, such a moment feels almost illicit, like overhearing a private conversation or confession never meant for public ears. He is so good at emotive singing, he's the best at it, to be completely honest with you. The emotive effect is so profound. Breath, after all, is life's most intimate signature, and here it becomes the carrier of raw feeling, and he utilizes it so well. By thinning out the tone, what Dimash is doing is he's reducing it to a whisper's thread. He draws it closer, not as an audience, but as confidants, inviting us into a space so fragile that a single exhale from us might shatter it. It's so perfect. All right, I'm taking it back slightly because I don't want to miss the vibe. Right. YouTube malfunctioning. Ooh. Opening it up a bit more. Beautiful lyrics. Oh. Sing. Okay, I can hear him building up. There's a few things that I've noticed that I want to bring to your attention. So in this part of the song, what I'm noticing is his voice is now beginning to bloom. Those once narrowed passages are now widening as he opens the pipes with deliberate grace. It is as though Dimash has drawn back a curtain, letting the fuller resonance of his instrument pour forth. Where before there was a fragility, now there is vigor. And what I mean by that is that there is a dynamic contrast that feels like sunlight breaking through mist. As I'm listening to the song, that's sort of the graphic that I'm getting in my head. And the surge of strength is no mere display of power for its own sake, because we know his power vocal is insane. Rather, it's a response, it's a vocal homage to the profundity of the lyrics. And the lyrics speak of eternal duty and devotion, concepts too vast for whispers alone. So what they demand is a sound that carries the gravity, the weight of such significant lyrics. And so, what does he do? He projects with renowned authority, the tone deepening, brightening, swelling, yet never losing its nobility. What I'm hearing from him is a sound of a heart that has moved from tender introspection to resolute affirmation, matching the word and tone in perfect resonant accord. It's quite simply put, incredibly intelligent singing. All right, let's play through. There you go. Beautiful vibrato. Absolutely stunning. Chest resonance. Ooh. Great choice. Stunning. Absolutely bloody stunning. Oh my word. The man is too good. He's too good. Expect the unexpected and you'll be surprised every time, even with him. Just when I thought the voice was going to soar unchecked into the stratosphere, because that's what I'm used to with him sometimes, or most times rather, he instead reins it in, folding that vast potential back into a gentle, audible tenderness. The effect is arresting. By withholding the climactic flight, he turns restraint into a statement, allowing the intimacy of the moment to speak louder than bravado ever could. And for me, that's where he does an absolute masterclass. And it's a masterclass in emotional control, demonstrating that sometimes even the softest touch can leave the deepest imprint. And then, as we get to the end, the performance comes full circle, concluding as it began, with the same delicate, breath-laced beauty that first drew us in. And there's a beauty in that. There's poetry in the symmetry. It's a sense of narrative closure that honors both the music and the heart it seeks to reach. The song does not simply end, it exhales, leaving the listener suspended in a space of quiet awe and lingering reverence. It's a testament to the sublime artistry of Dimash. All right, and there we have it. Amanat, rendered with all the elegance, drama, and vocal sorcery that only Dimash can conjure up. And what an odyssey it was. But now, my friends, I pass the quill to you. What stirred within your heart as those celestial tones unfurled? I should love to read your reflections in the comment section below. And if today's exploration resonated with you, do consider bestowing upon this video the kindness of a like, subscribing to the WordSmith channel for future voyages together into the boundless sea of music and lyrics. And should you wish to support the craft in a more tangible manner, there's always Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Links await your curiosity in the description below. Well, that's all for now, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, be kind, be gentle, be respectful to one another, and be impossibly good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. Cheers.